welcome back. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you can check it out in the link below or to pop up here. Anyway, besides all that, let's rank my personal top 9 engines of Somewhere Wales. Honking her horn at number 8 is Geraldine. Now, Geraldine is what I like to call a strange but very welcome engine. Being another KVLR engine and another one of the 4 badge engines, she's quite different from literally everything else in Wales. Sporting a darker purple livery and having a horn similar to Game Tez, she's kind of the embodiment of Game Tez, Gerald, and Genevieve all mixed together to make one very unique and interesting locomotive. The reason why she's not up higher is because she's one of the newer engines of the game, so I haven't really had a chance to fully try her out yet. Overall, I think her design is really cool, and even though she's an 062 like Dylan, I just really like her design more over than his. Speeding into spot number 7 is the speed demon himself, Iorwerth. Gonna be real, I regret ranking Iorwerth so low on my last list. Back then, I really wasn't thinking much about him. I just saw him as an engine that was used for trolling and really nothing else. Since then, however, I've realized what a big mistake that was and come to appreciate him so much more now. Iorwerth is fast, being tied over the fastest engine in game at 35 studs per second with Aeolus. He also has a really good soundtrack, both of his original songs and current one, with the Jackson 5 being the best out of all 4. His livery is also so nice to look at with the blue and white lining just fitting him so well, even if it does look a bit out of place surrounded by all the more dirty and grimy liveries. Overall, my opinion on Iorwerth has massively improved and I love using him to get places quickly and efficiently. Rumbling and grumbling into spot 6 is Rutley. I'm gonna be honest, I've always really liked Rutley ever since I first started to play in the game, and that continues to this day. Ever since I joined Wales back in 2020, Rutley has always been a go-to engine for me. Being a Carriage Stewart 60 HP, his design is unlike any diesel at the time on the railway or narrow gauge in general. I always liked and sometimes still do like using him to doing push-pull services like as an F unit or something dumb like that. In fact, I liked him so much that my first proper 2-foot engine I ever built was a Carriage Stewart 60 HP, who if you've played my game, Yorkshire State Railway, would know as the ever iconic Ike. Rutley has and will always continue to be a favorite of mine, and I will always remember him for his class and how it helped me get into proper 2-foot modeling as a whole. Puffing with a load of logs into spot number 5 is the ever iconic American tender engine, Eustace. Like Iorwerth, I heavily regret my position of him in my last video. Back then, I cared more about his music than anything else he brought to the table, and while music is still a very integral part in why I like an engine, with Eustace, I realized there's so much more to him. First of all, he's a big American locomotive, so that's a plus for me. Second, he has a banger soundtrack of classics such as Wreck of the Old 97 and Dixieland, so you can jam along to some classic American tunes while you haul your loads. I will, however, say I do think his chuffing audio was kinda bad at times. His old audio was significantly better when it was sounding more smooth and connected, while its current audio is just a bit off, but that's just a bit of a minor issue. Overall, Eustace has quickly risen up to be one of my top 5 favorite engines of all of Somewhere Wales. Nearly escaping a tree again is the equally as iconic box and wheel, John Henry. Last time I did my ranking video, John was my absolute favorite engine in game, but since then he's kind of fallen for me, and I'll explain why. To start, his engine chuffing noise has just gotten way too loud for me, where it's kind of painful to run him sometimes, along with the fact that he does have some issues at portion where the platform can cause him to get stuck due to the height difference. While he may no longer have such banger songs such as Ring of Fire or Railroad Song, which by the way, Railroad Song is still my #1 favorite song of any Somewhere Wales engine ever had, even surpassing Lumberjack, I still think his music selection is very fitting and very catchy. His remodels are also really great and just improve with every revamp he gets. While John Henry may no longer be my #1 favorite engine, he's still one I look back fondly on and will always be high on my list of favorites. Gracefully entering the station at number 3 is the elegant express engine herself, Elmira. Ever since I began playing Wales in 2020, I've always been a massive fan of her and still am. Elmira's design has always been one I just find to be so correct. It just fits so well with her being a tender engine, even though she's loosely based off Dolgok. I still think she works so well with the design. While I personally prefer the old 040 version of her, the updated 240 does improve her and make her so much more elegant. The reason why she's not higher up in the list is, as stated before, I do like the original 040 version more, and while the new version is great and all, I just really prefer the older purple one. However, I will say, if we only got the classic Elmira with the Girl und Panzer OST, she'd be number 1 on my list. I am not a weeb whatsoever, do not take me as liking up OST as proof I am a one. Puttering along at spot number 2 is the funny flatbed of a tank, Wannabe. What can I say? I love this little motorized flatbed of a tank. She barely looks like anything, but she packs quite the punch, being quite a powerful little petrol engine. Her OST is also one of the best, and one of the oldest, as pumping iron was not taken down during the Great Audio Purge of 2022. I've always loved taking her out to run the maintenance away train and clean up any wrecked engines or trains, and I will continue to love this little homemade Wannabe diesel for years to come. But, despite all the praise I've given her, she's not my number 1 favorite engine in game. At number 1 is the pyromaniac himself, the wisecracking jokester of the railway, the little yellow tank/tender engine himself. That's right, it's Richmond! Yeah, it's no surprise. Richmond is my absolute favorite locomotive in game, and possibly of all Roblox train games in general. Starting life all the way back in 2018 when the game first launched, Richmond has been a long-lasting engine standing the test of time in somewhere Wales. During his early years, he was nicknamed the Slug, but made up for it with possibly one of the best OSTs in game to this date. Like, come on, how can you not love Flight in the Bamboo Cutter and Cucumber Quest? When he got his revamp in 2021, it improved him massively and made him such a great engine. He also got Immortal Smoke, which may be my favorite Tofu song of all time, assuming I'm not in a Bamboo Cutter mood. His 2022 revamp added so much more, like Inside Stevenson's, and while it may have lost Immortal Smoke, we got Greenwich in the Sky, which is one of my top 5 favorite songs. Okay, maybe I may be going on too much about the music of Richmond, but his design I also really love as well. Being styled after Dougal, it just fits him so well for how small he is, but his size doesn't mean he's weak. Oh no! Richmond is a powerful engine who can haul large loads of limestone up and down the line. When I first joined, he was one of the first engines I ever drove in a game. It was either him or Gary I first drove, I don't fully remember. And ever since then, I've just loved him. His sender also had just so much more to him, as well as I just can't explain it enough. I could go on for hours about how much I love Richmond, but I think you all get the point. I'll go more into him when I do my Engines of Summer Wales episode on him. But overall, Richmond by far is one of the best engines in Summer Wales and will continue to be my number 1 favorite engine in game for years to come. Woo boy, I did not expect that Richmond segment to go on that deep or as long as it did. Thank you all so much for watching through to the end. I know I've been a lot slower with making commentary videos as of late, but don't worry, I have a lot more planned for this summer. Anyway, join me next time for another ranking video on Summer Wales, or a new video not on Summer Wales or Steam and Steel, but still related to Steam and Steel somewhat. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day.